Hello friends, welcome to the Money Talk brought to you by Bartelle's Financial Coaching. I'm Johnny Bartelle, co-host.
And I am Theresa Bartelle, financial coach.
Do you live paycheck to paycheck? Does your financial situation cause you stress and anxiety? Well, today we'll be talking about how to break the paycheck to paycheck cycle. Please like, share, and subscribe. And also stay until the end of our show so you get all of the tips on how to break the paycheck to paycheck cycle. Honey, what do you think about breaking the paycheck to paycheck cycle?
What I would like to say, first of all, with the paycheck to paycheck cycle, there are too many people that are currently living paycheck to paycheck. It does not seem fair that people are living paycheck to paycheck, but then at the same time, it is fair if you're living beyond your means. So I've heard the slogan, fake it until I make it, but what I can tell you is, faking it till you make it can lead to a very miserable life.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the first things that you need to do to break the paycheck to paycheck cycle, you need to get on a budget. And remember, a budget is not a bad word. A budget is not like restraints that's keeping you from spending. You have to remember that a budget gives you permission to spend. And if you live within a budget, you can eventually break the paycheck to paycheck cycle.
Yes.
So with a budget, you're just going to give every dollar a job. You're going to look at your income, categorize your money, and live within that budget. So we really won't go deep into budgeting because we've already created a bit video on budgeting, and I recommend that you go back and watch that video. But be diligent in setting money aside for your bills and for emergencies.
Well, and then the next thing is, because that's a great tip about the budget, but then the next thing is establishing an emergency fund.
Yes.
So what's an emergency fund, right? It's just, the key thing here is a safety net.
Yes, it is.
That safety net will protect you from unexpected things that happen, i.e. like your car breaking down or your house needing repair, or you might have to buy something unexpected that you didn't plan to purchase. And so we're having that emergency fund that is your safety net, so you don't have to go and spend unnecessary money from your regular budget to purchase these things or either pay for these things that you wasn't expecting to have to pay for. So that means just set a small amount aside every so often, every month you set a small amount, and as you can increase that amount so your emergency fund will grow and you can have that money set aside just in case you have an emergency that's unexpected.
But like talking about what you're saying about emergency fund, the only way you're going to be able to establish an emergency fund
Yes.
is you have to go back to the budget.
Yes.
So in order to establish an emergency fund, you have to have a budget. In order to know how much money you have that you can set aside, guess what? You have to have a budget, because if you set aside money for an emergency fund and you have not budgeted your money for groceries or your rent or your car insurance, then that emergency fund won't be an emergency fund because you're going to have to dig into it to cover your monthly bills, and that's not what we want.
Yes.
We want you to break the paycheck to paycheck cycle.
And I think you said a key thing here too. You don't want to have to dig into your emergency fund because that's what it's for, emergencies.
Right.
Not for everyday normal expenses that you have on a normal basis. Only in the case of emergency that you need to touch your emergency fund.
Right, because what sense does it make for you to set aside $500 a month, but then when your utility bills come, you got to go to your emergency fund to cover your utility bills? Then guess what? That's not a true emergency fund. You should have categorized that money into your utility bills or into your groceries. So I just want to make one thing clear is, if you're setting aside money for an emergency fund, but you're having to go into it to cover your monthly expenses, then you don't have no emergency fund. Your emergency fund is an emergency fund.
Yes.
I mean, like if you have a flat tire, or if you have an unexpected visit to the urgent care and you got to cover a copay.
Yes.
Things like that. But an emergency fund is not meant for you to cover your monthly expenses if you're working a job every day.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
All right. And so bouncing off of that, it's very important that you educate yourself about personal finance, because many of us, we didn't talk about personal finances when we were growing up.
Yes.
So the way that we've learned most of everything that we've learned is we've attended workshops, I've read tons and tons of books.
Yes.
I've watched things on YouTube.
YouTube.
I've
Yes.
listened to people on TV. So educating yourself about finances has got to be a number one priority.
Yes.
Because if you don't educate yourself about finances, you're not going to know about a budget. There's plenty of information out there to teach you how to do a budget.
Mm-hmm.
An emergency fund, if you were not taught what an emergency actually is, you're going to always dip into your money. So what I want to tell you is that money, it doesn't have a heartbeat, but guess what? It is like a live being. Because
yes.
if you manage it well and nourish it, guess what it does? It grows. But the only way it's going to grow is if you have a budget, you set aside an emergency fund, you live within your means, educate yourself. Knowledge is power. And every time you reach a goal, you need to reward yourself. And I don't mean go out and spend $500 on shoes. Maybe you can go see a movie, or maybe you can go treat yourself to some coffee at Starbucks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you're going to have to make sacrifices in order to break the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. This is not a sprint.
It's a marathon.
Right, it's a marathon.
Yes,
so
is.
I'm telling you, if you apply the techniques that we're giving you today to break the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle, if you change your mindset, you have the power within you. God has given you the power to get wealth. He's also given you the power to break the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle.
Yes, and I'm going to add something else to you that you said earlier about knowledge is power. I'm going to add to that the application of knowledge is power. Because you may gain the knowledge, but if you don't apply the knowledge that you gain, then that knowledge is really just what it is, knowledge, right? So you have to apply the knowledge that you gain to actually, for it to impact your situation, right? So if you read a book, or if you learn something off of YouTube, or if you learn something from a conference, it's good to go and gain the knowledge, but you have to apply what you have learned to your situation to change your situation.
Right. And then again, too, like on educating yourself,
Mm-hmm.
read books about getting out of debt.
Yes.
There are so many books, so many YouTube channels that will educate you on getting out of debt. If you're getting on the treadmill, on your way to work, instead of listening to stuff that's not going to add to you, listen to a podcast.
Yes.
Because I'm telling you, if you don't make up your mind to break this paycheck-to-paycheck cycle, you're going to spend the rest of your life living check to check and faking it till you make it. But the only person you're fooling is yourself, because you're going to be miserable living paycheck to paycheck.
Yes.
Okay?
And then, you know what, that's powerful what you said about listen to a podcast, listen to a YouTube. And also, if you're at home, instead of turning on the television, pick up a book. Read something that's going to edify yourself, where that you can learn how to break the cycle of paycheck to paycheck.
Right. And so to reiterate what we've already given you, number one, you have to have a budget. Go back and look at our video on how to establish a budget. Second of all, you need to have an emergency fund. And an emergency fund is not to help you cover your monthly expenses if you work on a job every day. The next thing we've discussed is education. Educate yourself about money. If you don't control your money, your decisions and your choices will allow your money to control you. Don't forget that. Yes.
And let's add another one to that. How about also, you have to set goals, realistic goals, right, for yourself. And so what does that mean by setting goals or realistic goals for yourself? So say, for instance, you have a goal one day, if you don't own a home, of buying a house, or you might want to build wealth, or you might want to retire comfortably, right? Or you might want to purchase a car, or a newer car one day. So those are goals that you can set for yourself, example of a goal that you can set for yourself to kind of establish goals that's realistic that you can get to, so you can see the progress of your education that you're applying to your life, by you learning about the money, about the actual budget that you set in place, and also everything that you're doing, you want to see some fruit behind it, right? So by setting goals, the goals are your chance to see fruit come from what you are doing. What is a fruit? Because I said a fruit, but I'm going to explain the fruit to everyone so you can understand what I'm talking about when I say fruit. So, say for instance, you have a goal of $1,000 that you want to save for emergency fund, right? So you start saving $100 a month to accomplish your goal of that $1,000. So as you save that $100 a month, it takes you 10 months to reach your $1,000 goal. So once you reach that $1,000 goal, that is your fruit because you have reached the goal of a $1,000. So another way you can look at it as well, let's take it from maybe like a farming perspective. So if you plant a seed of like an apple tree, right? So once you plant that seed, you expect an apple tree to produce apples to come out of that actual seed. So that would be the end result would be you pulling apples from an apple tree, right? So that is your fruit. So that's an example of what a fruit is. So, and that is again setting the goals and adding fruit to your goals, which is your goals that you want to set is your fruit. So what do you think, honey?
Yeah, so again, like when you set the goals, make sure you write them down so you can go back and look at them. Because the only way you're going to be able to get to where you want to go is that you have to have a roadmap.
Yes.
And your goals are a roadmap, but if you don't write them down, they're really not goals. They're just ideas. So always write your goals down. Put a date on your goals so that way you'll know how to get to where you want to be. And so, friends, today we're talking about breaking the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. And what I want to discuss also is side hustles.
Oh, yeah.
A side hustle is a great way to break the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. But you have to be careful with a side hustle because if you're not serious about breaking the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle, and if you have not changed your mindset that you're doing a side hustle in order to break the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle, then guess what's going to happen? You're going to start living off of that income, and guess what? The paycheck-to-paycheck cycle is going to continue. So what I'm asking you and what I'm recommending that you do is do a budget. Figure out if you are truly living beyond your means. And if you are living beyond your means, look at your budget to see what you can cut out so that you can stop living beyond your means. Because sometimes you may not need a cable subscription. You may not need Netflix. But there has to be something in your budget that you can cut out. It might be Starbucks. It might be going out to a happy hour with your coworkers. But you have to decide what you can cut out of your budget so that you can break the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. Yes. But if you've cut out everything that you can cut out and you see that you are living beyond your means, then we recommend getting a side hustle.
Yes.
But if you get a side hustle, you don't use that side hustle to increase your living. You use this side hustle temporarily to get your budget within your means so that you can get your emergency fund built up.
Yes, yes.
Right,
absolutely, yes.
Right. So I just think that it's very important that one of the things that you know that one of the things that you can do to break the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle is a side hustle.
Yes.
But don't increase your living just because you have a side hustle. Because that ain't nothing that you can sustain indefinitely.
Right. And I don't think, you don't really want to sustain a side hustle if you don't have to, right? You want to try to live within your means so the job that you have, it can take care of your needs that you have and take care of some of your wants as well. So, yeah, you're right. A side hustle would definitely be.
Right. And we would recommend some side hustles, but we will not do that because some of the side hustles are not safe. In my opinion, they're not safe. So what we recommend is, like we've already encouraged you to educate yourself.
Yes.
So in establishing a side hustle that may work for you, then you go do some research for yourself and find out what side hustle meets your lifestyle and meets your plans. Like, I don't know what your work hours are, but you do. So we encourage you to get a side hustle that's safe to help you live within your means temporarily. And do not use a side hustle to increase your living. Because if you do, you will not break the paycheck cycle. Now, I can assure you of that.
Yes.
It'll only get worse.
Yes. So
Go ahead.
So no, you're right on that. I like that.
So what I would like to talk about now again is your goals. We're going to give you 5 points that you can implement to break the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. We've already gone over a budget.
Yes.
Yes, we've already gone over an emergency fund.
Yes.
We've already gone over educating yourself. We've discussed with you about goals. And we have discussed with you also about a side hustle.
Yes.
So now what we would like to share with you 5 tips, 5 strategies, whatever you prefer to call them. But we want to give you 5 things to encourage you on breaking the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. And the first thing is set life goals. We're not talking about a goal for 2024 or whatever year it might be. We're talking about life goals. Where do you want to be 5 years from now?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you want to be 10 years from now?
Mm.
But in order for you to meet your life goals, you have to write them down so that you will have directions on how that you need to get there.
Yes.
You need to have deadlines.
Yes.
Make your life goals realistic. And so some people might have a life goal, I'm going to get married one day. I'm not sure if that's a good life goal because that may encourage you to choose the wrong one.
Yeah.
So when you make a life goal, make sure it's reasonable and realistic.
Mm-hmm.
So since we're talking about breaking the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle, and this is the money talk where we talk about money all the time, we're encouraging you to set goals for your money, a life goal. And so what we've learned is if you don't set a life goal concerning your money, you're not going to know when enough is enough.
Yes.
You're going to be working, and working. But we encourage you to set your 5-year goals, your 10-year goals. Make them realistic because if you don't have a set amount of money that you know is good for you, you're going to keep working.
Yes, you're right.
Can you add something, though, to the comment of knowing when enough is enough?
Yeah, I can because what I really think is if you don't have like clear, concise, realistic goals, right?
Mm-hmm.
What you will wind up doing is you won't have a clear pathway to go down to know when enough is enough. Mm-hmm. So you, for example, you might have a job and you're working and trying to accumulate all this money, but by accumulating all this money, does that provide you peace? Does it provide you contentment? So you continue working because you have no goal that you have set.
Right.
To say, okay, when I get to this goal, this is enough for me to do what I need to do and to be at peace with whatever that may be in your life at the time, right? So to have a clear path that's concise, that's realistic, and achievable is the key thing to setting goals, right? Mm-hmm. And measurable.
Right, it got to be measurable. But what I will stress to you is you have to have a stopping point.
Mm-hmm, yes.
We don't want you to get 75, 80 years old and look back and say, oh my gosh, I spent my entire life chasing the dollar bill.
Yes.
Because like I say, money, it doesn't have a heartbeat. But if you manage your money well, if you nourish your money, I can assure you that it will grow exponentially.
Yes.
And so if you invest your money wisely, if you make wise choices with your money, it'll grow.
Yes.
And therefore, that's why you have to break the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle, because if you don't, you're never going to get to the point to where you can invest, where your money can show you how much life it does have.
Yes.
That thing can grow.
Yes.
It's currency. And so once you get yourself out of debt, once you start living paycheck to paycheck, you can find yourself a good financial advisor. Yes. Invest your money well, and you know when you get to this point, okay, I don't have to work so hard. I don't have to chase the dollar bill. But guess what? You're not working so hard, but guess what your money doing for you while you sleep?
Working.
It's working for you.
Working.
Yes, but if you don't have that number, you're just going to keep working, and we don't want that for you. Yes. We want your money to work for you while you're sleeping.
Yes.
So the first tip is establish life goals. I'm not talking about yearly goals. Life goals. Break that paycheck to paycheck cycle so you can get you an investor or a financial advisor that you can trust, or you can educate yourself and learn how to invest your own money. But when you reach that $1 million mark or that $500,000 mark, you can say, okay, I can take my foot off the gas now.
Yes.
And I can chill a little bit.
Yes.
So that's a life goal.
Yes.
That's number one. Okay, you got number 2 first?
I do. So the next one is make sure that you make a monthly budget, right? A monthly budget. And why is that so important to have a monthly budget? Well, if you don't have a monthly budget, then you will not know where your money is going. So the key thing is you want to make sure every dollar has a category, has a name tied to it, right? If you don't have your money with a name tied to it, then guess what happens? It just goes and fly away, and you have no idea where it went.
That's right.
But when you have your money named on a monthly budget, then you know where your money is going, and you know where what money is staying in. So you know the income and the outgoing of your money.
Right, right.
And that's very important to getting to past the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. If you don't have a monthly budget, then guess what's going to happen? You're going to still be in the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle.
Right.
And that's not what we want for you. And I'm sure that's not what you want for yourself. Because that is a hard thing to live paycheck to paycheck. Because if you do that, then I would tell you it leads to stress, anxiety. You're not content. You know, you don't have peace. All those things that are very important in your life so you can live a joyful life, right? Those things you will not have because you have no clue where your money is going.
Right, right. And what I have learned since we've been doing budgeting for several years now, and you may not believe this, and the only way you will believe it is if you try it. And then once you try it, send us a message, leave us a comment to let us know that we were correct. But what we have learned is when you do a budget, you give yourself a raise because you're putting constraints on your money.
Yes.
And so when you don't have a budget, your money goes everywhere. Here. But if you can look at your budget and say, well, okay, I've spent all the money that I have for clothing. I'm not going to spend anymore. You will find out when you do a budget, you may have $200, $300 extra. You're giving yourself a raise because you are doing a budget. You have to be consistent with doing a budget.
Have to be.
Right.
Yes.
And so leading off that with a monthly budget, credit cards.
Ooh.
Friends. Credit cards. It's not the credit card. It's the person behind the credit card.
Yes.
Credit cards and all these reward points and all of that, it's psychological. Because you can have a credit card that said, ooh, if you buy this or buy that and you get all these rewards, you get this for free. But are you really getting it for free? Because those reward points, I don't care what nobody say. It is psychological and it will make you buy things that you would not ordinarily buy. Because, ooh, I'm going to get points. But if you're paying 26% in interest to get some points, does that make any sense to you? Are you really getting something for free? No. So, if you have credit cards, I'm telling you, I'm recommending you, do not carry those balances over to the next month. Pay those balances off. Now, we are not able to encourage you to have a credit card. That's your own personal decision. You're an adult. If you want a credit card, we cannot stop you. But what we will do is encourage you not to carry the balance over from month to month.
Yes.
What I encourage you to do is don't be using a credit card so you can get rewards. Y'all, it's psychological. Now, if you don't believe me, we already told you, educate yourself. Go read and do some research and see if these creditors have created things to make your brain think you're getting something when you really ain't getting nothing.
Right.
How much money you got to spend in the first place to even get the reward? So, we done give you some strategies. Number one, make yourself lifetime goals.
Yes.
Number two, make a monthly budget. Stick within that budget.
Yes.
And number three, if you're going to play the credit card game, pay them off every month. Do not make purchases based on the rewards that you're going to get. Because I promise you, in the end, if you're not paying it off every month, you're not getting no reward.
You sure are not.
No. Okay, what you want to add?
So, also, I think you hit that great with the credit cards. because the credit cards can lead you down a path that you don't want to be down.
Right, and what we got on our notes, it hinders your wealth building.
Yes, it does.
Right, so be careful with these credit cards.
Yes.
Because as long as you got credit card debt, guess what you're not going to do? You're not going to break the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. We are here to encourage you and to give you strategies to break the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle so that you can have peace in your life, live within your means, and don't be trying to impress people who don't even care about what you're doing. Remember that too.
Yes, you're right.
Yes,
and so, number 4, what I want to add to this is create an automatic savings. Okay, and you would say, well, why should I create automatic savings? What's the benefit of that? Well, it's a benefit because with your money going into like an emergency fund, right? Or whatever, say you're trying to build wealth. Well, if you create something that's automatic, then guess what you don't have to do? You don't have to worry about every month, oh, I got to set this aside and put in this emergency fund. Or, I got to set this aside and put in, maybe like my investment account, whatever the case may be. So if you're working and if you are able, and if they have an option for you to have like a 401k or whatever the case may be, well, you should take advantage of that because most of the time your place of employment will match up to a certain percentage, right? So that will come out automatically out of your paycheck, which then guess what? You don't get opportunity to see that because it's coming out automatically every time you get paid, right? And also with emergency fund, if you set it up automatic, guess what? You don't have to worry about. You don't have to worry about. You got to say, oh, I got to set this money aside so I can put in emergency fund. It goes out automatically into your emergency fund, so that frees you up from worrying about you setting the money aside for you to do it, because once you put that in your goal to do that and you automatically set it up to go, guess what? Now you're free and you don't have to really worry about doing that piece of...
Right, because it's automatic.
It's automatic.
Right.
It's automatic. Every time that you get paid, automatic.
It's automatic. And when you set it up to be automatic, it's something clicks in your brain to where you don't mess with it. But we encourage you to do it automatically so that you don't have to manually do it. Because if you manually do it, your brain going to say, let me go to the mall real quick. And then you know what happens with that money you planned on saving. J.C. Penney's or Macy's or Nordstrom's, Dillard's. Just name one.
Yeah, somebody.
Victoria's Secret.
Somebody gonna get it.
DSW.
Somebody gonna get it.
Right. Somebody gonna get your money. I read a book several years ago by David Bach, Automatic Millionaire. We've already encouraged you to educate yourself. If you're not a book reader, I'm pretty sure this book is probably on Audible. The name of the book is Automatic Millionaire by David Bach. Now, we give God his money first.
Yeah, first. That's
okay, yes. David Bach pretty much teaches pay yourself first. So after God, we then pay ourselves first. You need to set up your automatic savings, like he said, for your 401k or TSP. And you have what, a 403b?
Yeah, it's like a 401k.
Right. So if your employer gives you 6%, then you need to invest at least 6% so you can get that automatic money that they're going to give you. But because I am a financial coach, what I will stress to you also, you really should not be investing if you have debt.
Yes.
Because your debt is getting more interest from you than what your investment is probably paying.
Yes.
I don't think your investments are paying what you're paying on credit card debt. So what we recommend is please make it automatic, but make sure you're not paying credit card bills every month and, automatically investing in your retirement plan, because it's like you're on a treadmill. Yes. You're running, but you're running in place.
Yeah.
And then again, I recommend that you read the book David Bach, Automatic Millionaire. And what we endorse, though, give God his first, and then you set up your automatic savings.
Yeah, and we give God his first because we just know, and we know from experience. We don't have to, for nobody have to tell us this, because we know that you cannot outgive God. So we already know this. So we can't speak to you in reference to something when it comes to that we have not experienced. So that's why we make sure that we give God kids first.
Right. And then we are next.
Yeah.
Because there go our retirement account.
Yes.
There go our savings. And then after that, guess what? The utilities, car payment, life insurance. That's after that. God first, us next, and then whoever else we owe some money to.
Yes.
So get your financial life in order, basically, so that you can break the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle.
Yes.
And then too, like what I want to recommend also, we recommend, our fifth point is you need to take care of your belongings.
Yes.
And when we say take care of your belongings, we mean like if you are a homeowner, you might want to think about investing in a home warranty program where you might have a company come in like twice a year to service your air conditioner, clean your dryer vents, check out the dishwasher. And if you have someone coming in and helping you maintaining that will hopefully cut down on how soon you have to replace that item.
Yes.
Right. So if you take care of your personal belongings, and especially a car, don't just get your car and drive it and put gas in it. If you want your car to last you, you have to take it to get service.
Yes.
And boy, sometimes when you take your car to get service, the bill can be unexpected. That's why you need a budget. And if you don't take care of your car, I can pretty much assure you that it's not going to last you long enough. So you need to get the oil change. You need to get the tires rotated and balanced. Like what else? I mean, because we have to take our cars in to get service. And look, I'm not ashamed to tell you, I'm driving a 2007 Honda Odyssey van, but we still take it to get service. And you know what she's still doing? She's still driving.
Run like a sewing machine.
Yes, because we took it to get service. So if you want to protect your income, if you want to protect your savings, if you want to have a good budget, please take care of your personal belongings. And when I say that, I'm also talking about your health. Exercise, eat right. And y'all are my friends. I haven't been eating right lately. So it makes me feel a little tired. It brings my hot flashes on a little bit more.
You like that ice cream.
Yes.
Yes.
So I'm encouraging you to take care of your personal items, your home, your car. Like if you live in an apartment, you're pretty safe because you can call somebody to fix it. But take care of your personal belongings. That'll help you preserve your money. Take care of your health. Get plenty of rest. Eat right. If you smoke, if you drink, I can't tell you not to do it, but you have to know that it goes against your health. So take care of your health so that you don't have unexpected medical bills. Get your physicals every year. Get your blood work done. Like, we're here to take care of you holistically.
Yes.
Right. And so in order for you to break the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle, you don't need to be laying out of work, calling out sick, and using up all your sick time because, you got the flu.
Yes.
Your blood pressure's so high, you got a headache and you can't go to work. Sisters and brothers, take care of yourself, okay? Take care of it all.
Take care of it all.
Right,
yes.
right.
I like that. You're right. Because if you don't take care of yourself, then take care of the stuff that you've been blessed with.
Right.
Then really, it's gonna waste away.
Right.
Just like you can waste away. So.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So what I want to discuss now is what financial freedom means to us.
Right.
Because that's the key thing to all of this, right? So financial freedom, what it means to us is to owe no man nothing but love, right? So that's in Romans 13:8, where it talks about owing no man nothing but love. So you have to look at what financial freedom means to you, because it could mean something to you, but that's what it means to us, right? So by owing no man nothing but love, that means we're living debt free. We're trying to make sure that all of the stuff that we have discussed with you today and the points that we have given you, that we live by those points and that our life is financially free. And what comes with financial freedom? Peace.
I mean, tons of peace. And peace, how much money does it cost? How much does peace cost?
Zero.
You cannot put a price tag on peace. So that's one thing I want you to take away too. Peace, I don't care what nobody say. Y'all, there's no price tag on peace.
Yes. Zero.
Right. And we want all of you to experience peace. And when we talk about financial freedom, that's a personal decision.
Yes.
You have to decide for yourself what is your financial freedom. But what I can assure you, financial freedom is not, I don't care who you are, it's not being a servant to the lender. Yes. It's not playing the credit card game to get the reward points.
No.
You want financial freedom, and financial freedom for us is not being servant to the lender.
Yes.
But again, we recommend that you decide what financial freedom is to you.
Yes.
We want you to make a life goal and decide how much money is enough for you. But when you make that decision, make sure that it's invested well so that it can make you proud and work for you while you're sleeping.
Yes. And then another one I want to give them, but you just said something, not being servant to the lender. So let me kind of add to that as well. So what my wife was talking about is really like Proverbs 22:7 states that the man of wealth has rule over the poor.
Can you read that again, please?
The man of wealth has rule over the poor, and he who gets into debt is a servant to his creditor.
And I'm telling you, you know how you can be servant to your creditor? You go out here and you get this nice fancy car, and your payment $700 a month. You know what you got to do? You got to go to work to make that payment.
Yes.
Or that car gonna get repossessed, or you gonna just give it up voluntarily.
Yes.
And then you know what's gonna happen? It's gonna body slam your credit report.
Yes. Say it again. It's gonna do what?
Body slam.
Body slam.
Your credit report.
Yes.
So y'all, I'm telling you.
Yes.
Can you read that last sentence again?
Okay. And he who gets into debt is a servant to his creditor.
Right. And I don't even want to say this, but when you are servant to your creditor, you are in chains. You are in bondage. They are controlling what your money does, where your money goes. I don't even remember. I am a reader. I don't remember the book that I read, but what I'm going to tell you now is when you go out to make a purchase, or if you go out to get in debt, you yourself need to figure out how many hours are you going to have to work to pay this thing off.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I read that in a book, and
That's
it
good.
was astounding. When you get in debt, you are trading your life, you're trading your minutes, you're trading your hours of your life to pay this creditor.
That's good.
And eventually you're going to get used to that car.
Yeah.
And when you got to get service on that car, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, what did I do? So, friends, we are encouraging you not to be servant to the lender. And also what I have learned from Dave Ramsey is when you get yourself in debt, oh, I'm buying this because I deserve it. Well, my coach, Dave Ramsey, and his team says, if you don't have the cash to pay for it, you don't deserve it.
Deserve it.
How? You got to go and borrow the money to get it. So tell me again how you going to break the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle if you consistently going and getting in debt.
Yes.
You're going to be servant to that lender for a long time.
Long time.
Make sure you calculate how much time you're going to lose off of your life.
Yes.
By going to work, punching a clock, to pay for a car that's going to depreciate within 30 seconds when you drive it off the lot.
Yes.
And remember, if you do not pay for it in cash and you justify in buying it, I deserve it. No, boo. You don't deserve it until you can pay for it in cash because you worked hard for it.
Yes.
And when you work hard for something, you put the money aside to make that purchase, guess what? You have earned it. You deserved it. And you've given that dollar a job to go buy you this car in cash.
Yes. Cash.
Yes. You've earned this home if you've saved enough money to put down the required down payment.
Yes.
You've earned it.
Yes.
Don't let these creditors trick you. But honestly, you're tricking yourself.
Yes.
We can't really blame the creditors. We got to learn to say no to ourselves.
Yes. Let your yes be yes and no be no.
Yeah, and let your no be no. Do you have anything else that you want to add?
No, I think that was great on financial freedom because that's the key thing to all of what we talked to you about today.
Right.
Financial freedom.
And breaking the paycheck to
The
paycheck cycle. And then I want to recap. So what we've given you, the 5 points that we've given you, you need to set life goals.
Yes.
You need to make a monthly budget.
Yes, and pay off your credit card in full. Create an automatic savings.
And then you also need to take care of your belongings, and not just your belongings. You need to take care of your health.
Yes, holistically.
Yeah,
Yes.
holistically.
Yes.
We want you all to break the paycheck to paycheck cycle. Because if you're working hard, I personally believe you deserve the right not to live paycheck to paycheck. But in order to not live paycheck to paycheck, you have to learn to say no to yourselves.
Yes, yes. So, with all of that, hon,
We would like to say, friends, thank you so much for watching the Money Talk. We will be here every Thursday at 10 o'clock in the morning bringing you new content.
Yes.
If you want to make a financial impact on your life, I encourage you to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you on next Thursday.
All right.
Bye.